Alrighty, we're live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show. Do 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 do. Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube? Why is our ads playing? Alrighty, let's see if that's good. Volume on that, I think. Not. Let's see. Nar. And sure, it's the same mic that I used yesterday, the same setting I used yesterday, and today it's too low. Let's just kick that on up a notch. La 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 la. That should be good. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Maybe one day I'll have a lovely assistant to help me with streams. That would be pretty cool. Alrighty. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And you're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, you just scroll past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show. Today is number 508 of those. I've done a couple. Answering your financial questions playlist that has 137 of those in there, and there are 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including episode 500 of the Ramsey Show After Show, and that was a musical. That was a concert basically, and I sang all of the songs in here. Probably most of the individual song uploads are better than the live version that I did on that 500th, but some of them were better. So, and the newest song, When You're on Baby Step 2, that one debuted on the Ramsey Show After Show episode 500, and that was the 12th one. Market report. Boop boop. Down today, not down that bad. Like it's like a normal down day. After being down yesterday as well, and I bet we got, let's see, Lululemon reporting today. Oh, let's see what they did. Do we have some good news from the folks at Lululemon? And that looks like a NAR based on the gray here, the after hours trading. Let's see. Forecast sink shares amid ongoing macro uncertainties. All right. So vague. Disappointing guidance. Did they reports higher fourth quarter earnings and revenues? And so, but you can't just do that sometimes. Apparently, you also have to say, well, and we're going to make $11 billion next quarter too. But if you say, well, we don't know what's going on yet. Maybe the tariffs are affecting them or something. Who knows? Who knows what the reason is, or reasons are. But who knows? So, but they're down, so they're on sale. And of course, shouldn't buy any single stocks. You can have plenty of Lululemon if you would like, but they would be in your in a managed mutual fund for retirement. Oh, and look at this. Even though the NASDAQ is down over a little bit over 0.5%, we still have Apple up over 1%. And by a little bit, 0.16 and 0.111, Microsoft and Amazon and Tesla as well, 0.39% as well. So depending on your managed fund, it wouldn't have the same equal amount of shares on all of these. And so if you have more in Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon than you do these other ones, then you may actually be positive for the day. It's possible. And that's why you do want to do managed funds. Oh, skip let's check the rest of the planet. Everything down in Europe, almost everything up in Asia. Let's see about that US dollar, euro up against it. US dollar up against the Japanese yen, down to the British pound, love. Up against the Canadian dollar, sorry, and down to the Australian dollar-mite. Australian said nar. Let's see what the news is like. GM Ford stocks reel after Trump announces 25% auto tariffs on foreign-made vehicles and certain parts. So everybody freak out, and even things that have nothing to do with vehicles are going to be affected. So just because everybody freaks out. Fox News man arrested in Molotov cocktail attack at Tesla shop in Las Vegas will also face federal charges, of course. Why is that news? Of course they will. If Chinese-built container ship fines take effect, we're out of business in U.S. Ocean carrier says. All right. 4-bedroom ranch in New Jersey tells you everything about the lopsided housing market. Okay, I don't know what juice there we would get from the squeeze of clicking on it, but I'm not going that. New York Post, 145 plus Prime Day worthy Amazon Big Spring Sale deals of the day of day 3 updated live, and so that's fabulous that we can celebrate Prime Day, a buying thing, a sale on Amazon, and so that's fun that we can celebrate that in addition to being all worried about tariffs. Let's see. This is from a Spanish website, I'm assuming, maybe news organization. Let's see. Adelantado de Segovia. I have no idea what that is. Segovia, maybe a place, location. Adelantado. I have no idea what that would be. Some 67-year-old retirees will stop receiving payments from Social Security Administration in March 2025 because they don't meet this requirement. All right, don't know what that would be, but that is interesting that it's not nobody in America picked up on that, and that's not important enough for an American place to have. Maybe they got the scoop on it since it was only an hour ago. American Dream officially over. We've been hearing that forever on the Ramsey show. People call in asking about that all the time. Is American Dream over? It's not. SF Gate. Bay Area tech CEO lays off 931 workers with straight fax email. All right. I mean, if you can't afford them, you can't afford them. If you hire too many people, you hire too many people. And that is not limited to private companies. That's also the government. And of course, they hire too many people. They're way too big. Politico, Senate votes to overturn CFPB overdraft rule in new blow for agency. All right. Oh, what is that? Oh gosh, something. I can't remember what CFPB is, but it's one of those committees. Nvidia down today. Anybody up here? Tesla up. We already did that one. GameStop down 22, and this is dumb. So you can see what happened here. Oh, let's make this a fun meme stock again, and so you can see it took a little bit to get up there, and then since the 17th, and it went up for a little bit, and then bloosh, crash. Good job. Hope you had fun, guys. Meme stock people. Alrighty, I grabbed this from a Discord group that I'm involved in. How America spend their money by age group, and this was from 2021, so it may not be exactly, there we go, that's what I wanted to do. May not be exactly the same today, but still interesting, I thought. And I was going to read it, and I thought, I'll just do it live. How about that? Because it's content. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the silent generation, 1945, that, I'm younger than that, thank goodness. Younger than a boomer as well. I mean, I'm Generation X myself, but let's just see. Housing is what the people that are still alive are paying for it, I guess. 16,000, and so that may be because they bought a cheaper house. Who knows why that is? But this doesn't keep going up. Millennials are doing, and this could be renting as well, I guess, as mortgage. Millennials are 24,000, and Generation Z 15,000, and that could also include, I guess, people not paying any rent at all and staying at home with mommy and daddy as well. So the healthcare, I guess the red ones are going to be the most. And you got the line through here to see what the most group is for each thing. Are the most and the second most? No, because that one's 6,000. So I don't know what the lines through here mean. But let's just see. The most in healthcare is Generation X. Interesting. More than boomers and more than millennials. And Generation Z paying the second most, the silent generation. I mean, and I get they can't be included in the group if they are not still living, though. And I would think they would have more health problems if still living. And food, let's see, who's the most is the Generation X, right? Yeah, Generation X. Z must be mooching off parents or something like that, only doing 3,874, 871 a year. And then 8,000 for millennials and 10,000 for boomers. No, Generation X, I'm sorry. Boomers, less than that. Oh, let's see. Transfer. Let's see if there's anything else. Cast contributions. And that is going to be the boomers are putting away the most. Silent, I would imagine they would be living off retirement now and wouldn't be contributing, is what I would imagine on that. Let's see. Entertainment. The most is Gen Z is, I mean, they probably don't make as much money average as the rest of the group, so that makes sense that their expenses would be lower. Even though some of it they could be, I mean, this could include debt as well. Like they could be spending more on food or entertainment, but it's all going on debt. That could possibly be. So it doesn't say anything about that. Let's see what we got. Personal insurance and pensions. I don't know why you would put those together though. Let's see. Miscellaneous expenditures. Is this this is a year, right? Age group. Birthday range. This may be a month. Not a good graph because it doesn't say what it is. It just says dollar spent, doesn't say per month or per year. Let's see, apparel and services. I guess that means like dry cleaning and stuff. Services for the apparel, personal care products and services, education. 310, 732. 2249 for the millennials, and I mean some people aren't getting any other education. So I'm assuming this is a year based on just the education one. Um, Alcoholic beverages. All right. Keeping that below $1,000. And the most, of course, is the millennials. Shocked by that. Reading materials. 142 for silent generation. Tobacco products and smoking supplies, and that's under 125 for everybody. So I'm hoping that's a year, but that may be a month. But that seems so. If that's where's education again? Let's look at it and try to figure out math here. Oh, never mind. That's apparel and services there. Apparel and services 2,000, 249, and it's 916 for boomers. So 2249 for Generation X. All right. Interesting. So next time I think I will read it in advance. Something like this to figure out if it's yearly or monthly, because some of these it could go either way. Alrighty. We go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey for some questions. Let's do that. This from Drowse89, a second home. No idea how this fits in with the baby step model, but I'm an accidental landlord, and that is something that is not advised to do. And you're not accidental because you allowed it to happen, so that means you did it on purpose. So you did it, and it's not. You would buy a second home completely in cash if you're on step 7. So you wouldn't do that. Second homes are toys, so you do have to pay cash for all of that. So let's see, the accidental landlord, and so it's not a second home to play in like a beach house or something like that. It seems like it's rental property, and you should be paying cash for that as well. And you would not do that until your residence was paid off as well. Let's see, my wife before we met had a little home that she bought and lived in, but it was at the height of the bubble around 2007 when the housing market collapsed. She was left in negative equity after we met and decided to buy a house together. She could not afford to sell. Oh, because of the amount that you would have to come up with? I see what you're saying. So after we purchased a home together, we started to rent hers out privately. Okay, and I'm sure, hey man, it's been a long time since 2007. I bet that's come around since then. So why haven't you sold it since then? Tenants only pay the same rent as the mortgage, repayment costs. It has slowly turned into positive equity. Okay, and guess what? Guess what then? Sell it. But we continue to rent it out. Why? That's not being accidental. That's you allowing it to still happen. Question in relation to the baby steps. Where does it sit? You would not be having that with a mortgage on it. You have to buy that in cash to be a landlord. When following the Ramsey advice, you do not get mortgages for rental property. It's not a budget expense as the rent covers costs. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You should not be having that debt. The idea is to stay out of debt. Didn't realize it had ellipses. Let's see what the rest of it is. And it's only going to be a couple of sentences. Oh, it's only going to be one more sentence. But can you have 2 mortgages to attack in step 6? No. Sell that house now like you should have a long time ago and pay off your residence as soon as possible. You're doing it wrong. CM 1414 pay off mortgage, and the answer is of course always yes. That is I mean, it says it right here in baby step 6, doesn't it? It says pay off your mortgage, not just pay it off, but pay it off earlier. I have a second home in Florida that I use as I hit a rainstorms, ain't nothing to mess with. But I can't feel a drip on this trip. In Florida that I use as a vacation retreat. That's a no on that too. As well as a rental when I'm not using it. I have about $195K left on a 30-year mortgage. Shouldn't have done that anyway. Should have done it on a 15. Shouldn't have done adjustable rate. We do fixed, which is a 6.75 for 3 years. I have savings, just about 80% of my life savings available to pay it off. Yes. Retiring next year with a decent pension. If you don't have any other retirement other than the pension, you basically you don't want that debt, so that's a no on that. Do you pay it off or invest? You pay it off. You do not. You keeping a mortgage around, especially on a second home, that's debt leverage, my friend. If you're trying to invest that's debt leverage. And do you think Mr. Ramsey would say okay to debt leverage? And that would be a nar. He would say nar if he were from Australia. Alan Cohen, 123. Close of business and unsecured LOC. That means line of credit. Business closed prior year. An LOC or a line of credit account was turned over to debt collection agency. What's your advice? Since it's unsecured and associated with a closed business that finished underwater. I think I did this one already. You signed for it. It doesn't matter if the business is closed. I don't think you get a get out of debt free card because you closed the business and it finished underwater. I don't think you get a free thing on that. And since you signed for it, it's still going to come back to you. Yes, it's a sole proprietorship. Yeah, you pay the balance, a lump sum. You can offer to sell it for cheaper than you actually owe. If they'll take it, sure, go ahead. Want to do the right and biblically consistent thing here? That would be to pay off exactly what it is now. But it's up to you. If you can sleep at night by settling it for less, knock yourself out. Austin C0701, high yield savings account recommendation. Currently in a local bank savings account for my emergency fund, looking for a high yield savings account I can easily get money out of if needed. I don't. My pal Sid likes Ally. Express at 8275, help. Should I take this shift work position? If you need a job, I would do that. Editing to add that there is so much potential for overtime, which pays time and a half and sometimes double time, but that requires me to be home less. Yep, it does. And especially the smaller the baby step you're in, the more likely you should be doing that and working all the overtime they offer. Also want to add that if my shift falls on a holiday, I will have to work it. Yep. Working holidays and weekends are mandatory. Yep. Somebody's got to work on those days, and why not you? Especially, again, the lower the baby step you're in, the worse off your finances are. Your number one priority is working. Serious pros and cons. Okay, well, you can make a pro and con list, and we don't have to be involved in it. But I would think that making your finances better would be your top priority. Also, now that my husband has worked a second job and sees how draining it can be, he agrees that he was hard on me when I previously worked shift work. He is on board and supportive of me taking the new position because of the income. Whoa! Plus, I'm really not happy in my day work. You can do what you want to. You can do what you want to. It depends. I don't think we had the shifts we got so much information here, but nothing saying what baby step. Yeah, no, just life story and stuff that doesn't really help you decide. I understand what you want to do, and so, but why ask though? If you have all of this stuff that, well, I didn't want to do that, my husband now understands, and blah, 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 you can just decide for yourself. Why not? Why would you need Reddit to weigh in on that? 7 people did, though, so hopefully that makes her happy. Busy contest 6897. Why is the show running reruns? I heard the same segments yesterday's I did on Friday. Anyone know? Well, if you are listening on the radio, they can run it however they want to. Especially if you listen to it from 2 sources. Like if one day you listen to it from the radio, and then the other day you listened on YouTube, it's possible it would repeat. But the reruns are happening now, and they're being called best of. They were never called reruns, they were called replays. And that was when an entire show was being replayed for when no hosts were available. Or if it was holiday and they all had off. And now what they're doing, they are all on the Ramsey cruise. And so they are doing what is called as best of, and it's not an entire episode, but it's different calls strung together, edited together. And so that's I mean that's kind of interesting because it breaks it up so it's not like again like a complete one show being replayed. It's different calls from different days. And on one of them, I believe it was this week, there was a Christmas tree in the Ramsey lobby for one of those calls. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Collection time. Collection time. One last call for paying debts. See, they write themselves, people. Did I mess up paying everything off? No, that's what you're supposed to do. 33, I can say I'm retired. I don't know what people talk like this. I can say I'm retired. Why don't you just say I'm retired? That's so weird. To me, anyway. Paid everything off, house, etc., and current net worth around $2.5 million. How is that a mistake? How is any of that a mistake? In order to pay everything off, I completely drained my savings. And that's how you do it. You're not supposed to have extra savings above the emergency fund while you still have debt. Which makes me super nervous. Doesn't matter. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have it. You shouldn't have had the savings anyway while you had the debt. All that money should have gone to debt a long time ago as you had each individual penny of that. That should have, instead of put to extra savings beyond the emergency fund, that should have gone to debt already. So you were doing it wrong and you made it right by paying it off. Congratulations. But I didn't want loans, debt anymore, and that's why you do it. My monthly income from rental properties is around 11 to 14K, depending on certain details. My question is, did I mess up paying everything off and draining savings, or did I make the correct move? No, you made the correct move. Now, if you have debt on any of that rental property, that's dumb as crap. Just nervous. About 2.3 million is property and 250K in assets. Well, that's fine. I got a great idea. This is so great. This is so fabulous that you have $2.3 million in property. Guess what? If you want more cash, sell some property then. 30K savings, liquid, paid off house, commercial properties, and all my assets. Great. It's also so great. If you want $1 million in liquid assets, sell $1 million in property. So, but see, the thing is, you can't have both at the same time. Oh, I want my properties and that much too. No, you can't have that. No. What's a no? No. You would have to buy that in cash, buy 2.3 million in property in cash, and then also save whatever amount you want to be saved. So, but you don't get to keep the savings and not pay off the mortgages. And so I don't know how anybody could be nervous about that, because you're in a fine position. Why would you think you couldn't sell your property if you needed money? Or if you would sleep better at night with more liquid savings? You can do that. Just sell a property or two, too. How about that? A-Hen, 1999, question for other low-income, high-debt people. Well, I definitely don't qualify for that anymore. Probably had, like my ex-wife and I had combined, had probably decent income and average debt. I wouldn't say it was high, but I'm going to weigh in anyway. How about that? Single, 25, still a baby. Graduated in 2021, no car payment of 33K. I don't give a crap about the interest rate. Private loans, down from 41K. Great, been paying it off. Fabulous. 31K. Federal, 1800 credit card. I'd like to hear from some of those whose income isn't the highest and is working to pay off 40 plus K plus of debt. Well, you would be paying minimums on everything except the smallest one, and you put all your extra money to the lowest debt, smallest to largest. That would be baby step 2, and that's exactly how that reads. Now, you, because you have your little situation here, whatever you have, whatever you think it might mean, that, oh, well, this baby step 2 doesn't apply to me the way it's written because I'm special. No, you're not. You put it on the smallest debt. Let's see. How much debt do you have? What's your income? And what are your steps to pay it off? Well, none of that matters. I mean, you can ask the steps to pay it off, but how you pay off debt is really easy. Guess what you do? You don't spend that money on other things. How about that? It's not as, it's not as hard as you people think it is. I mean, the most difficult thing about it is that it can take a while, especially on a low income. And so it just takes a while, and you have to sacrifice by not spending money. But that's the key. That's all you have to do. It is very easy. But again, it's easy to figure out the way to do it. But you just basically have to make yourself not spend money. Let's see. I live at home and no bills. When they say I live at home, that's dumb as crap. Because you do not live at home. You live with your parents, if you're saying that. And that's dumb. And Mr. Ramsey thinks that adults should be living on their own, because that prepares you for the world more so than being at home and being coddled by not having to pay for everything by yourself. Everything goes to my student loans. Yep, my salary is 120K and I'm paying off 50K of student loans. Well, then that means they got a good degree then. So maybe you didn't get a good degree. Maybe yours was dumb as crap. And so that's just the way it goes on that. So you can't, you don't compare yourself to anybody else because they don't have the stuff going on that you have. And it's not like the individual stuff does come into play there as where you shouldn't compare yourself to other people, but it doesn't come into play where it's still the same advice on baby step 2. You don't spend that money on anything else, and you tell yourself, no, 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 I have to pay off my dumb ass debt. For me, I recently got my first 9-to-5 corporate job. Great. That is sort of adjacent to my field. Yeah, that's a problem, probably. Why did you get a degree in that field? So that's probably the main problem here. And see, all of this would be your fault. You did it. And so you can change it if you want and get a job in your field. but maybe you don't like that and you got the degree in there anyway. And so that makes it even dumber that you took out a loan to do it. It's bad enough if you lose money on education that you save for and you get a not good degree. Uh, but you don't have debt, and so that's still not fun. But it's even worse when you take out loans to do that. Let's see. Salary's 43K. After like 8 months, it will start job searching again for more pay. Okay. Also work afternoon serving job Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. My only day is Sunday. Where's all the money going? Where's all the money going? I'm gonna have to see that budget. Where's all the money going if you're living at home? Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just saying everybody else says that. So my bad on that. If you're not, then yeah, you gotta, I want to see your budget. I want to see what you're spending money on. Maybe you're going to the Taco Bell, one day too many, which is one day would be too many because you're not supposed to eat out any days. And at your serving job, maybe you get free restaurant food there. That's fabulous. Do all that you can. That's great. Ask to work extra shifts because then you can get more food that way. Serving used to be my car insurance and student loans job. Okay, see, that's your little thing where you say, well, this job pays for these things. That doesn't affect anything else. That's just the little stuff that's going on in your head. And so that doesn't affect anything. That doesn't change the advice either. Income increased a smidge. I can budget my car insurance bill with my salary job. It doesn't matter. It's your income. None of that. You're wasting too much time thinking about this dumb crap. And I'm wasting too much time talking about it on this stream. Let's see. I didn't treat my 4K credit card balance as debt ever. LOL. Well, that was dumb as crap too. You're making a lot of mistakes there. I made the monthly payment and went about my day. You're so dumb for that. However, I got like 1,500 in paid time off from my customer service job after leaving and some other lucky circumstances. I got my bill done 1,800 in 2 months. Great. Well, I don't see anything. What's the question? I don't see the question. How did you do it is the same thing. You do not spend it on anything else. Just looking at the end to see if we'll try to refinance as my credit score continues to go up. You don't need to refinance. You just pay it off. Oh, will be better in May as the last 2 weeks of my serving job are spend it how I please money. That's doing it wrong. So this person is nutty with how this person thinks. I can't relate at all to how this person thinks about it. Spend it how I please money. You have debt. It doesn't say, I don't see, let's see. Let's check the baby steps in case I'm wrong. Actually, let's check the Ramsey version of them. How about that? Step 2, pay off all debt except the house using debt. Except I was using the debt snowball, that's smallest to largest. It doesn't say, but if you have 2 weeks from your previous job pay coming in, you can spend that however you want. It doesn't say that on there. I'm sorry, but you're thinking very dumbly. And you're putting too much thought into it instead of, hey, how about instead of doing all this working and typing this question, how about you try to bring in some more money or figure out what else you can cut out of your budget? Where are we at? I'd love to hear from people in similar, nobody's in a similar situation because nobody's thinking about it the way you are. Highly doubt it. Nutty. People are nutty for sure. Jedi Mind Tricks, 1979. Analysis paralysis. And that's kind of what we're doing here. That's when you overthink it and you don't take action. And you make up dumb stipulations for yourself, like being, oh, this is going to be the spend how I want it money. In my gut, I know the answer. Of course you do. The advice is very simple. It's very easy. You do not spend money on dumb crap if you are on baby step 2. You just spend money on 100% necessary items. Oh, let's read it anyway, shall we? Let's open it up since there's more to it. What up, Tanya McGrew? Been a while. How you doing? How you doing? Oh my God, I know the answer, but I need help from other genuine people such as you all. If you know the answer, you know the answer. And you say, what, and you have the what would Dave do flair, so you don't need us. You just read his advice and you do that. Because you tagged it, what would Dave do? Debating paying off my mortgage or holding the cash due to current uncertainty in the economy. This is a load of crap. Bunch of those today. So, you see, my friend, that's dumb. So I've been listening to the Ramsey show a long time, and guess what? Not just this year did it all of a sudden become it's uncertainty in this economy, blah 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 blah. That's so stupid. Do the baby steps. It's still the baby steps from way back when, 20 years ago, when people were still saying, well, in this economy, we can't do, dumb crap like that. So, again, just being too dumb, overthinking it. Don't do that. You know the answer in your gut. He says right there, I know, in my gut, I know the answer. Well, then do what the answer is and quit thinking about it. Just do that. You know exactly what to do. It doesn't matter if you're going in this economy, it's still the right advice in any economy. The baby steps help you out because by paying the debt off, you don't have any debt. And that puts you in a better financial position, which helps you deal with any bad economy. So you don't have to have that as a little excuse anymore. Flocky Money Boss, buying a house cash. That is the advised way. Dave will not yell at you for getting oh my goodness gracious me. Paragraphs are not a thing for this person. Buying a house cash, yes, that is the advised way. However, Mr. Ramsey is fine with you taking a mortgage out where the payment is on a 15-year fixed 25% or less of your take-home pay. Let's see. That's about to receive a settlement from a car accident for around $550K in the next 2 weeks. Okay. Paperwork for the settlement signed, but my lawyer has the money. Just waiting for him to pay off the medical bill. See, none of this matters for the question. None of this matters. I mean, it's great to hear about your entire life, but that doesn't affect buying a house cash. So where's currently I have around $125K in credit card debt that is just becoming interest bearing as it was all balance transfers. And that's why Mr. Ramsey does not recommend balance transfers, because then you just let the debt sit around. And you are not incentivized to pay it off faster. So that's why he doesn't recommend doing that. I'm planning to pay off the credit card debt. Great. And not doing some other stupid stuff with it. Fabulous. And maybe a little bit of other stuff. What does that mean? Wife has a little student loan debt at a high interest rate. I'm thinking we will pay off our Acura MD. Yeah, you should pay off all your dumbass debt before buying a house. Because that, again, is the Ramsey advice as well. Buying a house would be saving the down payment for it is baby step 3B. And that means for you to be on baby step 3B that you have to not only have all of your non-mortgage debt paid off, you also have the full emergency fund outside of the down payment. Let's see. Boom. Where is it? Oh, we have 2 young children, another on the way, and plan on having 1 more. And my mother-in-law lives with us, so we need something bigger. Probably going with a Wagoneer. Oh, you mean the vehicle. I got you. Haven't totally ruled out a Sienna. That way we pay off the current loan. And the new loan would be the same amount money monthly. No, you buy with cash. You buy with cash from that settlement. You don't keep loans around like they're pets or trade them out. Well, I'll pay off this loan, but then I'm going to get another one. So that's a no. So you're doing it wrong. Let's see. I should have been with around 400K and be debt free, except for the new car. No, that's dumb as crap. Also, have around 500K in crypto holdings. That's dumb as crap too. This I feel like for me, this is a troll thing. Cause I mean, people are this dumb for sure, but I feel like this is a troll thing. So, knock yourself out, sir. What I don't. What was the question? What was the question? I feel like some advice would be keep renting, invest the money, and keep grinding. No, you can buy a house if you want to. Again, it has to be all in cash. Yeah, do that. Because you do have the cash. You don't need to be getting new cars and have a new loan. You don't need to do any of that. You can use that money to buy a bigger house. And if you have to save up a down payment, oh, I don't know. Maybe you cash in your dumb ass crypto. How about that? And then you buy a house totally cash. And so maybe that would be what you should do. Dumb as crap person. Dumb, 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 dumb. Floki money boss. Okay, yep, not really. You're not a boss of money. Not the boss of me either. Let's see. Sorry, Tanya. Got sidetracked from the question. Tanya's hanging in there halfway through the baby step. That is to say 3 to 6 months. Yep, 3 to 6 months of expenses. Putting little Razer percentage in the savings so I don't feel it, if that makes sense. I put my little Razer percentage in the savings, so you got a raise, and you put that in savings, in your emergency fund savings. Swag fellow jacket girlfriend supports her family. Well, okay, you know that already, and she's your girlfriend, so if that's a problem, maybe she doesn't get to be your girlfriend anymore. Let's see. I was hoping to ask this on the show, but nowadays the phone line always says that I should call back during the show hours, even though that's when I call. Well, you're dumb, or you just don't ever watch the show, because they've been talking about the Ramsey cruise for a long, long time, but maybe you just all of a sudden decided to call this week and you never listened before. And so if that's you're not dumb, you're just ignorant of the fact that this cruise is happening. Oh, let's see. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 4 months now, and one concern of mine is her family's reliability on our finances. Yeah, that would be a nar for me. I mean, unless she's really, really rich, and can afford it, that would be fine. But yeah, she immigrated to the States with her parents. Yeah, we don't do that in America. We don't pay for everything for our family just because we have money. That's not how that works. They could easily make as much money as we do, that kind of thing. So they're not, and in the United States, we're not, anything for family. No, we don't do that. Because a lot of times family is stupid. And they run up a lot of debt, and they don't even try to pay it back. And they're not even trying to do anything. They just want free money. And so that's a no here in the United States. So you can keep your culture and so forth. I don't know that culture necessarily means to enable family, but if it does, you can do that for sure. But that's on you if you do that. So you don't get a pass for that. You're the one that's choosing to do that. And so if you want to do that, go ahead. And if you want to keep being this girl's boyfriend and maybe even husband one day, then you're going to have to accept what she does like that. unless she changes her ways. Let's see. Her parents retired while living in their home country, so their retirement income is pretty devalued compared to U.S. dollars. Yeah, that's going to happen. I mean, that's one of the things that happens when your country is money is nothing compared to the United States dollar. That's how that works. She and her brother work and pay the vast majority of the household expenses and have agreed to continue that practice even after moving out so their parents can continue to live in retirement. Well, I mean, that's the situation. So if she's going to keep doing that, you have to agree to do that. Let's see, financial principles are to obviously not rely on anyone else as long as I'm physically, well, that's you. That's you. And if you certainly can require anybody that you date or get married to have that same ideal, but she doesn't. If things progress in the future, I would potentially be joining this agreement within her family. I do understand there's a cultural difference between us, and I cannot fully understand that situation as I wasn't fully born into it. You can understand it, you just don't think it's a good idea. It's not that hard to understand. They just pay for everything for the parents. Very simple. People are nutty with the way I can't fully understand that situation. Yes, you can. You just don't agree with it. That's a different word. That's different words. It's just I have a hard time coming to terms with sending a sum of money to someone else every month for them to live when I still would like to pay down my house exactly and potentially save for my kids' education in the future. Correct? I agree with you on this, but you do understand the situation. And that's why, and you don't like it. And so that's the problem, not that you don't understand it. For some rough numbers, the parents are, I mean, that doesn't matter. It's the principle of the thing. She takes home about 30K annually. I take home 100K. And she estimates her share of the family expenses to be 15 to 1800 per month. I'm consumer debt free, but I have 190K left on my mortgage. Just wondering what others would do in my shoes or how to approach potential conversations out of love. There is no one right answer, but other perspectives help. Yeah, I would say the answer is whether you can live with that or not, whether you can agree with that. I mean, she may change her mind and stop that at some point. But since she already agreed to do it, she may not. And so you have to accept her and take her, you take people as they are. And if you can't do that, then that's not the girlfriend or wife for you. And either answer on that, like you said, there's no one right answer. Either answer is fine on that for you to either stay with her and accept it, and that's just the way it is. And then you can't get mad about it because you already knew about it now when she was just your girlfriend. So, and now every day from now on, because you know about that, every day now, starting now, it's your fault, not hers. Because she's just doing the same thing she's always done. You are the one that's applying what you want to happen to her life. Fun times. Yep, halfway done with baby step 3. Awesome. It's so much better to be in baby step 3 than step 2, isn't it? After amount 4356, first time poster here, 31-year-old man, ready to turn my life around. Excellent. Well, this advice certainly can do that. I have that in one of my songs. I think it's the You Belong Dead Free. You Belong Dead Free. I think that's the one it is. Or it might be, that's what gives financial peace. And that's what gives financial peace. I have struggled with different forms of addictions through my life while, for the most part, effectively hiding it from everybody I care about. Normal. For all intents and purposes, have finally kicked the gambling habit. Great, but still have about 34K in credit card debt. I make $4,200 a month with the potential for some bigger commish down the pipeline. And my guess is approximately 35 to 45K after taxes come into this year. Well, you budget based on what you're making now. You don't count on money that you haven't made yet. Let's see what the question is, or the person just sharing maybe. Expenses are 700. Car almost paid off. If it's almost paid off and you want to keep it, fine. 700 is a lot though on where is that? 4,200 a month. So yeah, you can pay it off quickly. Go ahead. 205 for insurance, 750 for rent, 450 to 500 for food and gas. Hey, guess what? If you are by yourself, Mr. 31-year-old man, hey, got a great idea. Stop driving places except to work, and stop buying so much food and eating out. Stop that dumb crap. Pay off your dumb car first before you start even go to the next fast food restaurant even. 68 gym, $50 miscellaneous streaming. So you don't need to even do that stuff. But I mean, that's not horrible. Since you have 4,200, you know, where's the rest of the money going? Let's see what we got here. We got 1,500, 1,700, 17, and like another 100. So 1,800 and a little bit, 1,820. And then even with the, let's go with the high end 500. That's 2,380. Where's the 1,900 going to a month? Where's that 1,900 going to? I feel like I'm drowning in guilt and shame. Well, that's because you're spending too much money. You know, and maybe some people do replace one addiction with another. So maybe you're eating more after you stop gambling. It's possible, very possible. Walked myself out of a very dark place, and now I'm ready to fix it. Great. With minimal expenses and such a massive hole, what's the best way to move forward? Again, you pay off your debt, and you do that by not spending any money on anything else. Meaning you cut down that freaking, I mean, you can eat on $50 a month. I mean, a week, excuse me. On $50 a week. And so, but you're over half of that. So you're doing eating out and some other spending that you don't need to spend. And like as I said, you can cut out some of the streaming services. You don't have to have $50 worth of them. You can have one. So you can save extra money, but your biggest problem is the food and gas that I can see here. But it sounds like to me you don't think you're putting anything to debt. And so where's the $1,900 going, even if you are spending this much on food and gas? So I would need to see the actual budget of everything that you're spending, not just this, which is the ones that you're thinking about or that you would have like all the time. And then, oh, but yeah, but I go out to eat once a day, and that's not on here, or you know, whatever reason. So that 1,900 is somewhere, and so we'd have to find that. At this point, I don't think getting rid of the car will do much, as I've paid off over half of it and was a childhood dream car, so I know. But could be car debt free in under 2 years. 2 years with a $700 car payment, that would be too much for me. I mean, you can choose to keep it, but again, then we have to figure out all that 1,900 has to go to it as extra. So that would be 700. And all right, so also people. Let's talk about math. Where is it? I paid off over half of it. So it could be what, $1 over half of it, that's not almost paid off. So that's dumb. So I mean, you say if you say over half of it, you don't say 3/4 of it or anything like that. So that's probably too much. So I'd probably advise to sell that and buy a beater. And so, and yeah, and not do silly I know stuff. Let's not do that. I don't think there's a question. Yeah, you're just saying what you think about, oh, I think I should keep the car, I guess. Okay, I don't think so, especially since you can't even account for, you got like almost $2,000 that you haven't accounted for. Where's it going? I mean, maybe that 4,200 is before taxes, maybe. So don't know. But yeah, so I'd need to see the actual budget and the actual expenditures in order to help this person by telling them that you're doing it wrong and here's the way to do it right. Electro Shamrock, is Financial Peace Planner obsolete by now? I've already read Total Money Makeover. But with it, I bought the 1998 Financial Peace Planner. Is there still value to this? I didn't read it, so I don't know. But generally, the Ramsey advice works for all time. So it doesn't really change. So it's probably still the same stuff. So, but I don't know specifically what's in there. So I could not tell you for sure. How much does a 42-year-old need to retire? That's all it says is I'm. There's 123 comments there. Did the person edit it and take everything out except that part? Weird. All right. And so, but this is a thing you can't add. How much do I need to retire? There's no set number. There's no set number. We don't know how much you have already now. And we have no idea, none of us do, what our expenses will be in the future. So we don't know. The answer is invest as much as you can and quit spending money on stupid crap as much as you can. And that way you'll have the most in retirement. That's all you can say on this. There's not a number that anyone can give you that would be correct. But you keep in mind that if you're living maybe on 50,000 a year, if you end up having $1 million in retirement, that's going to generate 100,000 a year. And so even after inflation, that should cover your expenses, especially if you have a paid off house by then. Alrighty. That's promoted. That's an ad right there. Your home is a gold mine. If you need cash, stop taking high interest loans. Tap your equity. That's dumb as crap to be on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, but that's probably exactly why it is on there, because then some people will think that Dave recommends that, and he don't. He do not. Selling a collections debt be worth dipping into the emergency fund? The short answer is no, but we'll get into this question tomorrow on a Friday Aftershow show, Ramsey Show Aftershow show, and got to get down on Friday, as we all know. Alrighty, once again, Coach Steve Money, I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and if you've got money problems or you just want to Tanya knows that is a no dog on the credit card to use. Keep coming out of bank account. That's right. Tanya, to get rid of streaming except Roku, that one is super cheap. There you go. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it, because everything you cut out, you can add to whatever baby step you're on. In her case, baby step 3. So fabulous. Alrighty. Once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you have money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That link is on the ticker below. and in the video description. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com with financial questions or anything about anything on your mind or anything on my YouTube channel. You can do that. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney, or a Walmart gift card to the same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, The Ramsey Show, Aftershow, and that is at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And that happens Monday through Friday. And that is exactly when the Ramsey Show is done with YouTube for the day. And again, probably another week and a day, tomorrow, Friday. And then I would assume the next whole week are going to be best ofs, because the Ramsey cruise is still happening. I think through like Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. But then I wouldn't count on coming back for 1 or 2 days. But it has happened before. Could be. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And thank you so much if you've done those things before. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day. And you know it's a good idea because it says it right there. Alrighty, thanks so much. Bye.